Welcome to Time Warner Cable's Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance, and we are joined by Joe Santoro. He is the mayor of Glendora, but you had been the chief of police in Monrovia. And so you have a double perspective on how realignment is impacting cities, that being the sending of state prisoners to county jails as a result of a federal court order.
Right. And the problem is that they don't go directly to the county jail. Most of them, they get either put on some type of release program and they wind up in our communities where they live, work, and get involved in crime. Mm-hmm. And we are starting to see the data. The data isn't complete yet because there's no real method of collecting the information yet. It's one of the things that we really need to do.
Here's a challenge, Mayor. I think it's fair to say that Democrats and Republicans are in uniform agreement on their frustration with the federal courts who have ordered the contraction of the state prisons. The governor really has no choice. The U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear the federal court's order, which waived all state laws to contract the state prisons. What's your sense of this scenario?
I think it's absurd. I don't know what these three judges are thinking. These people, if they were living in their communities and doing crime in their communities, maybe they'd have a different perspective on it.
But what is the governor to do? I mean, it's not as if he is dancing a jig as a result of this ruling. He appealed the ruling to Justice Kennedy, who had written the initial ruling saying our prisons were cruel and unusual, and he refused to hear this most recent order.
Right. I think what the governor is doing is that he's, number one, looking at out-of-state prisons.
Right, which are expensive.
For about 11,000 prisoners. It's very expensive. What he's also thinking about working on local facilities to be able to house these prisoners. But then what they're also really kind of focusing on is the criteria for the release of these 11,000.
So that's almost 10,000.
Yeah, prisoners. And the criteria, it should not be just because we need to release 10,000 people.
No, I understand.
There should be some criteria going along with that.
Well, they're looking at the age of the prisoner or the level of the underlying crime. Is it time for California, for counties, for cities to look at prison construction?
I think it is. I think we should have been doing that a long time ago. I know every time you build a prison, there seems to be an uproar about it. But the truth of the matter is, there's people out there committing crime that need to go to prison.
Although what's interesting is the crime rate is ticking downward. Even during this recent recession, it was countercyclical, and we did see crime drop. Why? It could be better technology. It could be that people are too tired because of the recession. They can't get out. Mm-hmm. You know, some people say that crime ticks up as one comes out of a recession. So there's that risk. So could it be that maybe we need to look at better educational programs or rehabilitation programs instead of building prisons?
Well, I think the educational programs are definitely in it. I think that we can prevent people from going to getting involved in crime, in gangs, and associated with criminal elements. I was also a dean of a college, and it dawned on me after many years in law enforcement that the community college is a door to a successful future.
Right. And for better or for worse, community colleges are getting some uptick in funding, not as much as K-12.
Right.
In our final moments, is Glendora managing through the rehabilitation scenario?
We are. Our police chief, he's been managing it very well. He's involved with a regional team that goes out now with his personnel in about 6 different cities, checking on these people to make sure what they're doing. So
his name is Joe Santoro. He is the mayor of Glendora. My name is Brad Pomerance. Thank you for watching Time Warner Cable's Local Edition.